Well, everyone, happy Battlefield launch day. We are here rocking and rolling, and after this morning's issues with server capacity, it is now fully open, and people are, oh God, people are jumping in, having a great time, and I am one of them. I'm gonna tell you all about it today. In case you missed it, earlier this morning, there were a bunch of issues with people logging in, and apparently the EA version of the game was having significant issues. So a lot of people started to request refunds through EA's servers and stuff, but they would then go and just immediately buy it on Steam where it was working properly. And that worked out quite nicely for everybody. So now Steam seems to be the place to play, and everybody is eating it up. I got jumped. Oh. Should have seen that coming. Just this morning when I was on stream, there were over 700,000 people logged in trying to get access to the game, many of whom were sitting in queues waiting to be let in. There really is no question they have found tremendous success with this on launch day. It's running really well now that the servers are actually up, not just in terms of frame rates, but everything, but in terms of server pings and overall performance, destructible environments, everything is working really, really well. And, you know, it's a good thing when the only frustration people have about your game is that they can't get in fast enough. It's a good problem to have. It means that you've got an in-demand hit on your hands. Where are they? I see you. Skadoosh, got you. Oh God. The helicopter blew us up. That's what we get for chilling on a rooftop. Should have seen that coming. It also seems like they've really responded to feedback from players very, very directly. Like, for example, a lot of people were hoping for the ability to search for individual servers, which is something they've allowed for. So you can see custom search. I can select this, go and like select which game modes I like or don't like. I can then go and say, oh, well, you know, I don't really like the Empire State match. I've played on that map a bunch. Maybe I just want this server. Maybe I just want the Iberian Offensive, or I want that, and maybe I'll throw in the map with the pyramids in the background, or maybe I want this one. And then all I have to do is hit play with those selected, and then I hit start, it searches, and it'll count down, and boom, there we go. Just like that. How cool is that? That's awesome. If there's a specific map you want to play on, you can select it. If there's a certain game mode you like or don't like, you can select that. I mean, these are like obvious things to have in a game in 2025 that has multiplayer, but it's something that big name FPSs, let's just say, have not included. And you know, I think that this is maybe like one of the biggest takeaways of all of this stuff with Battlefield is that it's finally introducing some competition into the space that really has not been present in many, many years. I mean, you're even seeing with like Call of Duty, where they're actually taking steps to add in no skill-based matchmaking lobbies. If you want to play with no SBMM, you can do that. There's an entire lobby set up just for you. Oh, dude, you ran right in front of me. Oh my God. Little SMG, just blink, blink, blink. Okay, sorry. So anyway, Call of Duty is adding things like that are really, really nice quality of life features people have been asking for ages. They're actually adding it now because they feel the heat of Battlefield. People saying that they're gonna go play this instead of Call of Duty. And whether or not they do or don't, I really am not sure. But the fact that they're scared enough to actually make adjustments, I don't know why I'm physically backing up as if that's gonna make a difference in the game. I think that that is really, really good to see. And it's why competition at the end of the day is what's most important. That's what's key, because it forces Call of Duty to be at their best. It forces Battlefield to be at their best. And I hope that it keeps up. That's why even if you're the most diehard, hardcore Call of Duty fan, you should be in a way rooting for Black Ops 6 to be successful, because it will only make Call of Duty better. It'll make them listen to the things you've been asking for years and actually hopefully deliver on them. And who knows what we get out of it other than just better games in general, which I think is what it's going to do. So I'm here for it. Now, I did hear one interesting perspective on all of this on stream just earlier today, and it was that a viewer came in and was asking if I thought it was actually going to be good for, I'm on fire, for the health of Battlefield to get a bunch of Call of Duty players moving in, because in their words, Call of Duty is infested with brain rot. And their fear is that by coming into Battlefield and Battlefield servers and games, it's actually going to corrupt Battlefield, and Battlefield will basically just become mini Call of Duty in a way that a lot of people don't want. And I was like, I hadn't really considered that, but I do think it's fair to ask the question of whether or not a bunch of players who are used to a certain type of game coming in will have an effect on the health of the game they are invading. And frankly, I don't know for sure one way or another which way it would go. I do think that it is a question worth asking because Call of Duty has its own particular vibe and Battlefield has its own particular vibe. And certainly Battlefield players are playing Battlefield for a reason because they don't like what Call of Duty is offering. And so I think it's fair for them to be like, you know what? Can you leave all of the cartoony stuff? Can you leave all of the Nicki Minaj skins over with you? I think that's totally fair to request. And I think it's just a matter of time. We'll see if it plays out, if EA responds to that. Of course, now after EA was purchased by, or the announcement of the purchase in progress, that I think, ooh, I didn't even see him. I think that's going to complicate it. Basically, the Saudi private investment fund went and offered, in conjunction with a couple of other partners, a bunch of money, $55 billion to acquire EA. And in doing that, they're also completing it in the form of a leveraged buyout, which basically takes on a bunch of debt and makes the deal possible, even when you didn't have the money to do it previously. But it also means that you are raising the stakes because now there is debt that carries interest. And when there's debt that carries interest on any product or purchase, it makes the purchase more expensive, whether it's buying a car or in this case, a business. You know, you buy a house that's $500,000 on a 10% interest rate or something. That is going to make the cost of the house over the course of the mortgage lifetime way more expensive than if you bought it for cash day one. The difference is most people wouldn't be able to buy a house if they were buying it, you know, in all cash because that requires a crap ton of money. But that does mean that the stakes now are raised for EA and they need to deliver profitability to their new owners if/when that deal closes sometime in the middle of next year, most likely. And realistically, I think that that probably means that they are going to need to deliver higher profits and returns. They're going to need to cut costs wherever they can. And that probably takes the form of reduced development costs in the form of like, I would guess increased usage of AI tools and stuff in development. That's where I'm expecting it to go. There were leaks suggesting that that's the big strategy they have for it, that they're gonna basically force EA to use AI tools more aggressively. I was trying to get fancy, it didn't work. And I think honestly, in some games, you won't even really be able to tell that AI has been used aggressively. Like in Battlefield, I think it would probably take the form of like AI generated textures for materials and stuff. I think they might use AI stuff to help them code. They might use AI stuff to do surveys and sort through data from playtests and stuff like that, where you probably wouldn't notice. But I think it's also going to be used a lot in like, I would assume the marketing department. So they'll use AI generated wallpapers, AI generated artwork and advertisements and stuff. And that's going to be really toxic and stupid, but that's just, I think, how a lot of these companies are going to start operating. But time will tell how aggressive it gets. But I think you take on a $55 billion purchase and you do so with a lot of debt, you're not going to be doing things business as usual, most likely. I just ran straight into that. I don't know what I thought I was doing. Oh, oops. So realistically, I think that there's going to be heightened stakes. I think they're going to get more aggressive with monetization. I think things like BioWare and Dragon Age and Mass Effect probably will go by the wayside. Everything's terrible. War is hell. Oh my God. Oh, he's right there. Oh, sniped me in the face. That one hurt. Oh, I'm back. Oh, well, didn't matter. We lost. We died. Sucks to suck, fam. But anyway, the point is right now, Battlefield is popping off. People are loving it and digging it, and I am one of those people. One of the other things I want to give them credit for, though, is the optimization of the game. Like, really, they have done a stellar job getting this running on low-end hardware, high-end hardware. It scales quite nicely, and it's just so nice to see, again, in 2025, which has kind of turned into the age of crappy ports and PC bugs and poor frame rates. So, you know, it's just really nice to see when you get a PC port that runs well, is well put together, is optimized, and is also fun to boot. I totally whiffed that shot. Come on, peek it. Gotcha. And you know, some people might wonder, is it actually that important? Because if it was, okay. Is it actually that important to polish and optimize and all that? And I don't think it's crucial. We won anyways. I don't think it's crucial or like necessary, because clearly there's been games that run pretty poorly that sell like gangbusters. For example, Monster Hunter Wilds earlier this year in February sold like 10 million copies in the first couple of months. And that game by all metrics still runs like hot donkey ass. Or another EA example would be Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That game did not run very well at all, especially on consoles and lower end PCs. And yet it sold like crazy and did apparently quite well. But it's also important to remember that there are certain companies and franchises that can do that type of thing and get away with it, whereas others can't. So I just genuinely don't know how all of this Battlefield stuff is going to end. Are they going to run it into the ground, or are they going to continue to, you know, crank the dials on this and eventually get it to the point where it's like kicking ass and taking over Call of Duty? I don't know. But I'm hopeful. You know, they were never going to like magically come in and just blow Call of Duty out of the water to the point where Call of Duty sells like nothing and Black Ops fails miserably. I don't think that was ever going to happen. But I do think that they are scared and they are making adjustments as a result of Battlefield coming in and actually giving them a little bit of competition, and that's really good to see. So while I don't think Call of Duty can be like killed or anything, I think it can slowly be diminished in terms of relevance, and I think the audiences will slowly sort of change and maybe outgrow it and shift and evolve, and then the games will adapt to that. And I think that's a very normal thing. Oh, I can just barely see. Oh, come on. Oh, I hit him. So I think that that's probably what happens. And what I think is most realistic is that they probably are going to see an initial wave of negativity surrounding Black Ops 7. And then a little bit more time will go by, and a lot of the Call of Duty players who are currently jumping into Black Ops, or rather Battlefield, I think they will come and end up going back to Call of Duty. But they're going to come back and demand a lot of the quality of life things that they have in Battlefield, and that'll make them actually put effort into making Call of Duty better and more competitive with the other games on the market. And that's really good, because again, if a company can get away with doing the bare minimum, they will. That's like literally the whole idea of all of business, is to make money, but do it in as cheap and cost-effective a way as possible. And so if they can get away with, oh God, with a lower effort launch, they will. Oh my God. From across the rooftop. Oh, that's what happens when walls get blown up. They're not there anymore. But overall, I'm just happy to have another Battlefield game again. I'm gonna be real. I liked Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1. They were some of the most visually striking games of their time. They even still have aged really, really well graphically. And I am glad to have some more competition in the space. I think it's good for everybody involved. And it's also nice to have something that's not as brain rotty as Call of Duty, which has just turned into a total mess, in my opinion. Like, it's really hard to get into the game when it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting jumped by Peter Griffin, Roger from American Dad, Snoop Dogg, and a Teletubby. Ugh. My only hope is that they do not fall victim to all of that brain rot stuff in this game, but rather they can kind of stick to their guns when it comes to tone and presentation. That's my hope, at least, but I guess time will tell. Time will tell. As with most things in this industry, time will tell. We're almost there. Oh, we did it. Victory. We did it. Hallelujah. We did it. Go team. But anyway, let me know what your experience has been like in Battlefield 6 so far. Are you trying it, for one? Maybe you're not playing it. Let me know in the comment section. I want to know how many of you guys in my community are interested in this and are keeping your eyes on it, let me know. Who knows, maybe we'll schedule like a community game night and we can all hop on a private server or something, or a custom playlist and play together. That could be super cool. Let me know if that would be of interest to you. Well, with all that said, I'm gonna turn off these hot lights and keep playing in the dark. So thank you for watching. I love you all desperately, and I will see you in the next video. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.